On the morning of his wedding in the picturesque countryside of Provence, France, Julien Dubois discovers a shocking secret. His brother Mark's naming his fiancée Claire's phone, followed by incriminating text messages revealing their months-long affair. As Julien prepares to walk down the aisle at a charming chateau, he grapples with betrayal from the two people he trusted most. Choosing to confront the truth in a dramatic and public way, Julien unveils the messages during the ceremony, unraveling his carefully planned future but reclaiming his strength. This story of heartbreak, courage, and self-discovery unfolds across 4 chapters, exploring Julien's journey from devastation to empowerment. What would you do if you discovered a betrayal like Julien's on your wedding day? Share your thoughts in the comment below, like, and subscribe for more gripping stories. The chateau in Provence was a vision of romance, its ivy-covered stone walls glowing under the early July sun. Julien Dubois stood in his suite, adjusting his tie in the mirror, the crisp white shirt and tailored navy suit making him feel like the luckiest man alive. In a few hours, he'd marry Claire Beaumont, the woman who'd captured his heart 3 years ago in a Paris cafe. The scent of lavender drifted through the open window, mingling with the anticipation in the air. Everything was perfect, or so he thought. Julien's phone buzzed with a message from his best man, Antoine, running late. Traffic's a nightmare. Be there soon. Typical Antoine, always cutting it close. Julien smiled, then noticed Claire's phone on the nightstand. She must have left it after their late-night talk by the chateau's fountain, where she'd laughed about her nerves and kissed him softly. Curious, he picked it up, expecting to see her usual flurry of wedding reminders. The screen was unlocked, a notification glowing, a text from his brother, Mark. Last night was incredible. I can't stop thinking about you. Julien's breath caught. His younger brother, Mark, the charming photographer who'd always been his confidant, his best friend. Julien's fingers trembled as he scrolled up, revealing months of messages. Secret meetups in Lyon, stolen moments in Paris, and promises to keep it hidden. She'll never know, Mark had written. One more time before the wedding. Julien's world tilted, the lavender-scented air now suffocating. He sank onto the bed, clutching the phone, each message a dagger to his heart. Claire, with her bright smile and gentle touch, and Mark, who'd stood by him through every milestone. How could they? The betrayal was a living thing, clawing at his chest. He thought of the guests arriving, the string quartet tuning up, the vows he'd spent weeks perfecting. But now, those vows felt like lies. Julien locked the phone and slipped it into his pocket, a plan forming in his mind. He wouldn't let this destroy him quietly. The chateau's courtyard buzzed with activity. Guests in elegant summer attire mingled under white parasols, sipping rose and admiring the rose gardens. Julien moved through the crowd, shaking hands, accepting congratulations, his smile a mask. Claire was in the bridal suite, getting ready with her bridesmaids, including Julien's cousin Elise, who'd flown in from Brussels. Mark was there too, setting up his camera for the wedding photos, his grin as easy as ever. Julien's stomach churned, but he kept his composure, nodding at Mark's joke about capturing the perfect moment. At the rehearsal dinner the night before, Julien had noticed small things. Claire's quick glance at Mark during a toast, Mark's hand lingering too long when passing her a glass. He dismissed it as nerves, but now those moments burned in his memory. Antoine, ever observant, had pulled Julien aside after dinner. Something's off with those two, he'd whispered, nodding toward Claire and Mark. Julien had laughed it off, but now Antoine's words echoed like a warning. During the pre-wedding photo shoot by the chateau's vineyard, Julien watched Claire and Mark closely. Their easy banter, the way Claire's laugh softened when Mark spoke. It was all too familiar now. "Can I borrow your phone, Claire?" Julien asked during a break, his voice casual. "I want to check the playlist for the reception." Claire hesitated, her smile faltering. "It's charging in the suite," she said quickly. Mark jumped in. "Use mine. It's got the same songs." Julien declined, his suspicion hardening into certainty. That evening, as the bridal party gathered for a final toast, Julien's mother, Vivian, pulled him aside. "You're tense, mon chéri," she said, her elegant French accent tinged with concern. "Just pre-wedding jitters," Julien lied, avoiding her gaze. Vivian, always poised, believed in appearances above all. She patted his arm. You and Claire are perfect together. Don't let nerves ruin it. Julian nodded, but the weight of Claire's phone in his pocket felt like a ticking bomb. The wedding day dawned golden, the chateau's chapel glowing with candlelight and white lilies. Julian stood at the altar, his heart a battleground of rage and resolve. Claire walked down the aisle, radiant in her lace gown, her eyes locked on his. Did she suspect he knew? Mark stood to the side, camera in hand, his expression unreadable. The guests, family from Marseille, friends from Paris, Claire's colleagues from her art gallery, watched with smiles, unaware of the storm brewing. Father Laurent began the ceremony, his voice warm and solemn. We are gathered to unite Julian Dubois and Claire Beaumont in holy matrimony. Julian's hand tightened around Claire's, his pulse racing. The priest spoke of love, trust, and commitment, each word a mockery of the truth Julian now held. When the moment came for the vows, Julian raised a hand, stopping Father Laurent mid-sentence. A murmur rippled through the chapel. I need to say something first, Julian said, his voice steady, carrying to the back of the room. He pulled Claire's phone from his pocket, the screen glowing with a damning text. Claire's eyes widened, her breath hitching. I found messages this morning, Julian continued, turning to the guests. Between my fiancée and my brother, Mark. Gasps echoed, heads turning toward Mark, who froze, his camera slipping slightly in his hands. Julian read aloud, his voice cold. Last night was incredible. I can't stop thinking about you. She'll never know. The chapel fell silent, the air thick with shock. Claire's face paled, her bouquet trembling. Julian, please, she whispered, but he stepped back, out of her reach. Months of lies, he said, scrolling through the messages. Hotel rooms, secret trips, while I plan our future. He turned to Mark. You were my brother. How could you? Mark's mouth opened, but no words came. Vivian stood, her face a mask of horror, clutching her pearls. Claire's mother gasped, her hand over her mouth. Julian faced the guests, his voice unwavering. I trusted them both. They betrayed me. You all deserve to know the truth. The silence broke, whispers swelling into a cacophony. Father Laurent closed his Bible, his expression somber. The ceremony cannot continue, he said, quietly stepping away. The chapel emptied quickly, guests filing out in stunned silence, some casting sympathetic glances at Julian, others whispering scandalized theories. Claire stood frozen at the altar, tears streaming down her face. Mark tried to approach, but Antoine blocked his path, his eyes blazing. You've done enough, Antoine said, his voice low. Vivian pulled Julian aside, her voice sharp. This could have been handled privately, Julian. Think of the family's reputation. Julian met her gaze. I'm done hiding for appearances, man. Claire finally spoke, her voice breaking. I'm so sorry, Julian. It was a mistake. Julian studied her, the woman he'd loved, now a stranger. A mistake repeated for months? He asked, his tone cutting. Mark stepped forward, his face ashen. It just happened, Julian. I didn't mean... Julian cut him off. You chose to betray me. Both of you. He slipped the wedding band from his finger, placing it in Claire's trembling hand. You don't get to keep me after this. Julian walked out of the chapel, the summer air warm against his skin. He sat by the chateau's fountain, the same one where he and Claire had shared their last kiss as a couple. The water's gentle trickle was a stark contrast to the chaos inside him, but as he sat, a clarity settled in. He wasn't broken, just free. 3 months later, Julian moved to Lisbon, taking a job as a graphic designer for a small firm. His apartment overlooked the Tagus River, its walls bare except for a single canvas he'd painted. Bold strokes of blue and gold, titled Truth at Dawn. It was his first piece in years, a reclaiming of the creativity he'd set aside for Claire's dreams. Antoine visited often, their friendship stronger than ever. Vivian called weekly, her tone softer, learning to see her son beyond her expectations. One evening, Julian received a letter from Mark. It was raw, confessional, detailing his insecurities as a lesser brother always in Julian's shadow. "I was wrong, and I'll live with that forever," Mark wrote. Julian read it, then set it aside. Forgiveness might come, but not yet. Claire sent an email, brief and formal, apologizing again. Julian didn't reply. Instead, he joined a local art collective, his work gaining attention in Lisbon's vibrant scene. At a gallery opening, Julian's pieces hung proudly, each one a testament to his journey. A woman approached, her dark eyes warm. "Your work feels alive," she said, introducing herself as Sophia, a curator. They talked for hours, her laughter sparking something new in Julian, not love, but possibility. As he walked home under the Lisbon stars, he felt the weight of the past lift. He'd lost a brother, a fiancé, a future he'd planned, but he'd found himself.